I think it's a travesty that people are so judgmental of judgmental people. Now, let me explain. When you look up judgmental in a dictionary, you get terrible words like hypercritical, condemnatory, disparaging, pejorative. Who would ever like to be like that? Well, we're going to see how being judgmental is actually essential. The Mishnah and Avot, at the end of the first chapter, explains that Ashoshat Dvarim Ha'olam Kayam, on three things the world stands and continues. Those three things are Din, Emet, and Shalom. Din, judgment; Emet, truth; and Shalom, peace. The truth is, as much as we'd like peace, sometimes the truth is something that's very difficult, and it's difficult to face. We need judgment. We need to be able to judge, to be able to criticize, to be able to point out right and wrong, and make decisions ultimately. And that's why in this week's Parsha, Parsha Shoftim, we have the commandment to set up a Jewish court system. Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha b'chol she'arecha. You should set up judges and enforcers in all of your gates. You need to have judgment in order to have a functioning society. Not everything can be simple, nice, fuzzy compliments. Now, granted, it's a lot easier to be judgmental when it comes to everyone else. And you know what? Most people would have plenty to say about everyone else. However, where judgmental is ultimately essential is not looking outwards, but rather looking inwards. And it's this message that the Sfat Emet, the first Gerer Rebbe, explains in this week's Parsha. He understands Shoftim v'shotrim Itein lecha b'chol she'arecha, that you should put judges and enforcers at all your gates, as somewhat of a metaphor for ourselves. We have the gates of the body, the mouth, the lips, the way that we communicate, the heart, how we feel the rest of the world. We have to be a discerning consumer, and we have to have our own and set up our own judges and enforcers at those gates, at those entry points to our soul, to ourselves, in order to be effective and dedicated Jews. Now, the truth is, this idea of being judgmental, of actually being critical of what we consume, both physically and also mentally, is, I think, a very positive idea. It's a form of being judgmental, but positively, being able to look and critically look at the world around us, look at the values around us, look at what we read, look at what we hear, and actually make a decision. Is this something that I would like to incorporate into myself, to internalize, or is this something that needs to remain outside of me? It won't get past those gates. That's why the Shoftim and the Shotrim, the judges and the enforcers, need to be at the gates before it even gets in. What types of values do I want to internalize? What types of values do I not internalize? I need to be thinking. I need to be critical in order to achieve and to clarify what I internalize. And so too with our kids. It's so important that we need to educate them not to simply be consumers, but be discerning consumers, to be conscientious Jews, to understand why they do things, to be able to critically deal with the world around us, the rest of the world that are outside those walls. And the conclusion really comes to be that we need to be judgmental. It's essential that we're judgmental. However, it's important that we're positively judgmental and that we focus not on others, but rather we're ultimately judging ourselves. It's the perfect and most fitting message for the beginning of Chodesh Elul with Rosh Hashanah only a month away. May we this year resolve that we're going to be conscientious Jews, discerning consumers, and positively judgmental Jews. Everyone should have a Chodesh Tov, a good month.